thank you guys for holding on while I address some things in the locker room. First of all, I'd just like to say to our administration and to our fans, we appreciate the love and support, the continuous love and support. I mean, the crowd tonight was amazing. I mean, they were extremely loud. I mean, seems like, it seems like no matter what you do, man, no matter what you're going through, you look at these faithfuls, and you can appreciate everything that it takes for them to come out in the cold and show their love and support for a program that's trying to find its identity, again, and for a team, that's trying to find its identity again, So, man, I'm super humbled and appreciative for the people that showed up tonight, for you guys for hanging around, and I think it starts with just this wonderful community and institution, and these amazing students. They are the absolute best. So certainly, it's sorry that we couldn't give them their absolute money's worth, but we're working to improve at that for sure.
You were coming off a big win against Louisiana Monroe, first conference win of the season, but just a really tough outing against Louisiana. Just overall thoughts about the team's performance?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think it starts with Coach Marlin and his group, man. He does a phenomenal job. He's extremely consistent with his team and their identity. I mean, that's the kind of program that we hope to be one day. They're hungry, they're tough, they're skilled, they're well coached, they're prepared. So I think it starts with them. As for the Bobcats, I mean, this wasn't one of our better nights. I think we struggled with dealing with the press. I thought we lacked a little bit of poise. I thought we lacked a little bit of consistency with what we were trying to do. And when you play against a Bob Marlin coach team, they feed on that. So we got to get back to the drawing board and try to help these guys understand, what we're trying to look for and how to execute a game plan.
You kind of mentioned it before, like this team trying to find its identity. What do you think kind of the struggles is in trying to find this team's identity?
Well, I mean, I think it starts with the fact that, that you're leaning on some young guys that's still trying to, adjust to college sports and doing well, but they're still, they're just playing, and I think when you just play the game, rather than impact the game, I think it's a little bit different, so we're looking for more impactful guys at the right time. So we got freshmen and sophomores out there that playing their tail off, all right, but at the same time, we need some impact, and that's making the plays, doing meaningful times. So it takes a while to understand what that is, and understand how to consistently get that, but, that's what we're here to do as coaches, and we got to do a better job of that.
Do you think that plays kind of within each other with a lot of these, a lot of your players that are major contributions are underclassmen with the consistency? Do you think that kind of plays hand in hand with each other?
Well, I think, it sometimes the play don't go as you draw it up, and we drew up a kind of point guard and waiting situation. We're thinking that Drew Drennan was going to be our starting point guard, and then thinking we were going to play a little bit more through Tyrell and have a post threat, and then have Jordan Mason as a secondary or tertiary option, but now he's at the top of the scouting report, and that's an adjustment for a sophomore, especially going against 22, 23-year-old men. So he's done a pretty good job, but there are certain things, plays within the play, that we have to win, and some of it is just as simple as, hey, winning the point of attack at the screen and making sure that there's contact, or winning a jump stop and making sure you're not getting pushed off your mark. So just those little things that don't add up in the stat sheet, those are the wins that we have to have in order to get quality on balance shots, every time down.
Not seeing Brandon Love in the lineup, just I know not just one player affects the whole team and all of that stuff, but how much did y'all kind of miss his presence?
Tremendously. I mean, anybody that's kind of watched us play this year, we typically run the first play of the game, through him. He gets a number of touches. He's a guy that can calm us down and put us in spots, and he's a rim protector, and it gives us a little bit of confidence, because we definitely go to him to try to get us a bucket. I mean, and then another thing that's not really talked about as much, he helps us get in the bonus early on in the half. And man, we were not in the bonus early at all. I don't know if we got in the double bonus in any half, and that just shows you like why you need somebody to play too. You got to get the ball to somebody that can score to draw a foul.
Just for clarification, what's his kind of status?
Man, I'm hoping that he'll be ready for next game. I can't promise you that. I think it's a pain tolerance thing from here on out. But looking forward to seeing what the doctor says, and also with our trainer Tegan says about his rehab on tomorrow.
Coach, I just want to talk about Caden Gumbs for a second.
Yeah.
You mentioned the freshmen and the sophomores and how they're adjusting. What have you seen out of Caden in terms of his adjustment from playing at the high school level to now playing at the Division I level, playing against grown men?
Yeah, I think resiliency. I think that there's way more adversity that he's faced here, than he's faced in the last couple of years. When it comes down to trying to impact winning. But man, he continues to come. Live time, talk to his head coach and try to figure out what I want. He owns his mistakes. He never makes an excuse. He's trying to add more intangibles, trying to talk more, and trying to lead more from the position and not from the classification. It's one of those things. Even freshman quarterbacks end up being leaders of their team, and right now he's a freshman quarterback, so he needs to try to lead us. But I'm proud of him. I promise you this. I just wish that we didn't have to lean on him as much. And we're if we're in that predicament, then we need some guys around him to step up and do the things that he's doing. Provide that level of leadership, that ownership, and then embrace those things and work as hard as he's working.
And him playing here at San Marcos High School, how much of that was a big part of the recruiting process and trying to bring him here?
Yeah, I think it was a huge part of the recruiting process. It's a guy that we've been keeping an eye on. That's participated in our camps. We've seen Tuesday and Friday night games. Love his end speed, but love his ability to guard. Love his ability to finish and to make timely passes and things like that. But most of all, to be honest with you, man, I just love his character. And, if he was all of those things, but he didn't have the character that fit me, then we wouldn't have recruited him. So, he's the type of player that, no matter what he scores, no matter what he does, you still want around.
And him being, I wouldn't say undersized, but just a lot shorter than most of the other college players on the court, how important is it for, the undersized guards to play full court press on defense and try to, force turnovers in the full court defensive setting?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that when you're smaller in stature, I think you got to play to your strengths. With him, it would be his quickness, and his ability to change directions and things of that nature. So we like to consider him a pest, and sometimes, it takes a toll to the latter part of the game, just like it did tonight. We were able to get some deflections and turnovers throughout the last, I would say 6 minutes or so.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's kind of a unique scheduling setup this year, with a lot of double headers, women playing first and the men.
Yeah.
What are your overall thoughts about this new kind of conference setup?
Yeah, I mean, years ago, maybe about 6 years ago, I don't know, I probably got to ask Phil to dig that up, but we used to do double headers all the time. We have very little control over it, but what I tell you what it does create a bond between the males and the female athletes. So they tend to root for each other. We don't see a whole lot of their games. They don't see a whole lot of ours when we're playing on the same day in different states and things of that nature. So I think it builds a level of camaraderie and level of pride for each other. So, I don't have much of a problem with it, So I think it's a good thing. We cheer for Coach Z and her girls, and we're hoping that they can repeat.
Saturday, you got another tough matchup against Arkansas State. Y'all almost pulled off that comeback. win just, just one shot away, but what's it going to take to kind of look at tonight's performance and just kind of, as kind of what y'all tend to do, look at it, learn from it, and then move on to try to get another conference win?
Yeah, I've given this answer before, but I think it starts with pride, to be honest with you. There's been a foundation that's been built and been laid before some of these guys, and not many of them have participated in the blood, sweat, and tears it took for us to get to this point. And I think before we change anything, there has to have an appreciation for that, and with that appreciation, there has to be a level of pride to sustain that.